Calling Benbow by his name, he fought on the raging main, you must know. Oh, the ship rocks up and down, and the shots are flying round, the enemy tumbling down.
Lads, welcome to another episode of Sailors. Tonight, your host, Skipper Bob, has got Sandy Shore from Sailors, and the commander of the Exxon fleet, Wolf Johnson. Lad, let's get on now. Bring on, Skipper. Bring on the skipper.
Down on his old stump he fell, and so loudly he did call.
Lovely day today.
Yes, just dandy, wonderful. I wonder, you look just fabulous.
Thank you so much.
You must be the clothier here at the dock.
Well, not actually. No, we're selling sail. This was made out of a sail.
Welcome. I'm Captain Bob. And welcome to Sailors. Leave me a little room here, mates. This week we have some very special guests on Sailors.
I'm getting to know you much better now.
Let's see, which one of you? Oh, Sandy Shore, that's you. You operate Sails RS?
Yes, that's me.
Well, we'll be talking to you in just a minute after we meet our other guests. The commander of the Exxon fleet, the entire fleet, Mr. Wolf Johnson. How are you, Mr.
How you
Johnson?
doing, dandy? Pleased to meet you.
That's Captain Bob.
Captain Bob.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
So, have you two ever met before?
No, we've never met before.
Why, no.
We'll probably never meet again.
Why no? I've never met him before.
Well, you're familiar with the format here on
We never
Sailors.
allowed people like that on the cruises. I had them. Those were in the old
Yes,
days,
we'll be
you know.
talking about that shortly enough.
Thank you.
Now, first, Sandy, just what is Sails RS?
Well, we rent boats to anyone who would come, and we have gay cruises, and we welcome people of all persuasions there. And
So you're operating mainly in the larger metropolitan areas, with water, of course. We're
Yes.
talking San Francisco. Are you nationwide?
many places that are wet. We work in wet places.
I see.
You don't look like you've ever been in a wet place in your life.
Oh,
except
yeah,
in your
yeah.
diaper.
Getting over here,
I'm
Mr.
not sure you've ever
Johnson.
gotten out of your diaper.
Exactly how many boats are there in the Exxon fleet?
There are 227 vessels, all steel-hulled vessels, all in excess of 300 feet.
Oh, those are quite long.
They're quite long, and they
Are they
just
hard
go
to
all the way.
maneuver?
Oh, yes, indeed. When you stop one of those vessels, it takes 7 miles before it'll come to a stop.
How
So
manly.
now, of course, you wouldn't know that here at Sails or Us, you little fruit flies.
Excuse
They
me.
come out here on the boards with the little surfboards and those little girls.
Now,
And
listen,
has
excuse
nothing
me,
whatever
Wolf,
to do with nautical
Wolf.
or sailing or any such thing as that. The whole thing is just a pansy
You folks sometimes
rip-off of
know.
a bunch of fruit whipped yogurt eaters.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We'll be getting back to you shortly. Now, Sandy, I'm awful interested in this. Exactly how does one go about,
Hey,
Mr.
Sails
Wolf,
are-
a
I
party
know what
of
kind of jib he
8 or 10 close friends, if someone wanted to rent?
You and your boyfriends, you mean? I know what you mean. Well, you'd be very discreet. Number one, you'd be very discreet, and you call them separately on the telephone.
No, I know how to get at. I mean, let's just say that there is a group of people that would like to rent one of your boats. Exactly how many boats are in your fleet?
We have 14 little boats there, and they're doing very well.
You know the difference between a shell jack and a skipjack? Do you know what a skipjack is?
Of course.
Do you know what a sail? Do you know what is a jib? I bet you don't know what a jib is.
Oh, come,
Except-
Mr.
except
Wolf.
I know what kind of jib he likes. You know what kind of jib he likes.
Oh, Mr. Wolf.
Why don't you guys just go eat your fruits and nuts and just get out of the whole
Johnson,
marine business?
please. This is a show for
You're a
sailors,
disgrace.
about sailors.
This isn't about sailors. This
And
is
we
about
know-
a bunch of clothiers.
And we
This
know
is
that
about fashion designers.
sailors come in all shapes and sizes.
Well, I don't know about that, but let's say that they do. They
Yeah.
certainly don't come in this shape. Not on my vessel.
You're currently sailing around the Horn,
I
bound
don't
for
see why
Valparaiso,
you're
aren't
like
you?
that.
Bound for Valparaiso around the Horn. That's true. We're taking the entire
Why is he
fleet
like that?
out
Why
of
does he act
Abba
like this?
Eden.
I swear.
And we are delivering, once again, Europe's entire quota of Exxon crude.
Well, that's wonderful, Mr. Wolf. Sandy, don't you find it interesting how...
It's Wolf Johnson, not Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Wolf.
Mr. Wolf Johnson? Why?
You can call me Commander Johnson. Commander Johnson.
Well, Commander Johnson, exactly how long
It's
does
so
it take
manly.
to get around
It's so manly.
the horn?
Less time than it takes you to get your fly down in front of a good-looking woman.
Well, Mr. Johnson, anyway,
Wow.
Sandy, how long does it take you to get around the horn?
Well, sometimes it takes a whole hour and 20 minutes.
In Australia, they call them poofters.
And Mr. Johnson, how did you get your way to the top of Exxon? That's a very important position that you have.
I'm glad that you recognize that, Randy. I started...
I'm Captain Bob, not Randy.
I'm sorry, Captain Bob.
Thank you.
I got to the top by working first as a lighter. You know what a lighter is? I bet you've never heard of a lighter, have you, Captain Bob? Of course not. A lighter's a bargeman. I started out as a bargeman hauling trash. And then I learned the tide and time wait for no man. And I went with time and tide. And
Speaking
it
of
carried
time
me
and
to
tide,
the very top of the
Captain,
Exxon fleet.
I would like to bring Sandy back out here for some more repartee.
Delightful. I love to see him walk.
And Sandy, how long have you been at sea?
Well, it really seemed like months. It seemed like so long because first we ran out of rum, and then we ran out of beer, and then, of course, the Band-Aids were all taken up, and I didn't know what to do. And then when we ran out of the Vaseline, it was Oh, sailing is such a wonderful thing.
You just love it, don't you?
I have loved it so much. I love being around men. Sailing, manly men.
Manly men.
I like to be around manly men.
I understand. You like to see them flex their big biceps.
I love
don't you?
that. I
Bet
love
you
that.
like
In
to
the
touch
sun-
my biceps, wouldn't you, Johnny?
Well, I'd like to thank both Mr. Wolf Johnson and Mr. Sandy Shores
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for coming on to Sailors and sharing a little bit about what makes sailing special for them.
It certainly is.
And where will you be off to now, Mr. Shore?
I'll be going to Baltimore.
Oh.
A wonderful home port for you, Mr. Shore.
Yes, we have a
One of the
wonderful...
best.
And
I'd
Mr.
recommend
Johnson,
that highly.
you are currently headed for Valparaiso?
Valparaiso, round the horn.
Around the horn. Well, until next time.
Well,
I can't wait to get back to sea.
Exactly what will you be seeing?
Well, we'll be doing a lot of whaling there. Whaling. We do whalies. You know what a whalie is?
I know all too well. Well, sailing enthusiasts,
A lot of whaling.
it's been wonderful having you here, and we'll see you next time.
it's been a great delight.
Oh, to sea, to sea.
'Twas often Admiral Ray, calling Benbow by his name, he fought on the raging main, you must know. Oh, the shipwright...
Our mates, come back next time and join us with more gay lads from the sea. Till then, lads.
The ship rocks up and down, and the shots are flying round, the enemy tumbling down. There